Ah, yes, I love the decision to not include really any karate in a Karate Kid movie. Brilliant. Next, Karate Kid, released in 1994 and is directed by Christopher Kane, who's also behind such films like Young Guns, The Principal, The Amazing Panda Adventure, Pure Country, and Pure Country 2, The Gift. And this film is starring Hilary Swank, Michael Ironside, and Noriyuki Morita. And the reason why we're talking about the next Karate Kid today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from a longtime contributor and supporter of this channel, David Klimoff. Thank you very much for your support and your recommendation. First time watching this film, first time watching almost this entire franchise this week due to your recommendations. And I always knew that Hilary Swank was the Karate Kid, I just didn't know when that happened. Clearly it happens in this movie, and you know, it happened. And I think there's a reason why we never brought her back. So thank you very much, David, for the recommendation. If anyone else out there also wants to be like David and help support me and contribute to this channel, you can select the QR code that is in the bottom left corner of your screen right now. Send over your donation of $5 or more with your movie recommendation. And if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and give you a little shout out, just like what I did with David here. Mr. Miyagi flies out to Boston for a Japanese-American ceremony to commend all of the soldiers from the 42nd Regiment combat team, where he is put up by the widow of his former commanding officer, Mrs. Pierce, and is begrudgingly introduced to her granddaughter, Julie. But when it looks like Julie is just an angry teenage girl with no guidance at all, Mr. Miyagi invites Mrs. Pierce to fly out to his gardens in California for a while so that he can oversee Julie and help her and teach her in things. And we come to find out that Julie has a lot of previous childhood trauma that she really needs to work through with a trained professional, not just Mr. Miyagi, like an actual therapist. But we also find out that she is consistently being assaulted both physically, sexually, mentally by the karate security detail kids in the school, who's run by, I guess, the gym teacher or the principal of the school, who is also assaulting students because, you know, hard lessons and you need to be tough and resilient and I've said it in the previous ones, and I guess I'm going to keep saying it because I'm assuming the rest of this franchise is this way. Why are there so many people in positions of power that have learned karate or martial arts of some kind, and they use that as a way of maintaining strength through physical violence, and they teach all of these terrible lessons to these young, impressionable kids so that they become bullies as well, but that's seen as being cool, I guess? Why does this keep happening? Why are there so many bad people in the world? Wow, that sounded really bad.
Oh God, could you please answer this one question for me, please? Why is there evil in the world?
I sound so pathetic asking that question, but I think it needs to be asked. Why are there so many people in positions of power who are just terrible teachers? And it's clear that they're providing terrible lessons to these young people. And it's not like they're doing it in private. This guy, Michael Ironside's character, is doing this in public. He is doing all these terrible things on school grounds. How is no one looking at that guy, seeing what he's doing, and reporting that shit? Because I guess, you know what? This was the 90s. And women didn't really have a voice or any rights at all in school and a right to their bodies and things, so this was fine. I think it's a little better now, but you know, look at who's president in this country. I guess not really. Now, I guess this film is considered or hailed to be the worst of this entire franchise, and while I think that it's definitely not the best, I do think that there are some really good and kind of great things about this movie. In particular of this character of Julie. While I find her to be annoying most of the time, she's just an angry teenager. And everyone who ever used to be a teenager or who is a teenager you have all of these chemicals going in your body. You feel like you want to break out and do your own thing, but you can't because you're legally not old enough. You can't do it. So you do become angry and you try to make sense of the world and things that are happening in your life, and you just can't, and that makes you even angrier. But there is this great thing of martial arts that can teach you self-respect and self-discipline, and to teach you, or at least help guide you into finding inner peace and a way to channel that anger, not bury that anger or get rid of that anger. Anger is a necessary part of all life. It is a valid emotion, and if you feel angry, you should be validated in your feelings and in your opinions. But through martial arts and meditation and the connection to really the world around you, it can help you channel those to where it doesn't harm you or hurt you, or to your friends or your family. So I do like the concept of this Julie character, in that she's just an angry teenager needing guidance of where to focus her anger on. Though I do think that she does become annoying pretty quickly. And I also love how the grandmother is just a shit grandmother. Yes, she was put in this predicament of having to take care of Julie, who lost both of her parents, I believe, in a car crash years ago, I think. But because the grandmother just needs a break and needs a vacation, the second that Mr. Miyagi's like, yeah, go to my gardens in California, leave us, and I'll stay here to look after Julie. You know, the guy who used to be a subordinate of your husband, who was a commander-in-chief during World War II. You know, you really haven't met this guy, Mr. Miyagi, before, know him in-depthly, but you know what? I'm going to leave my house to you. I'm going to leave my granddaughter to you. And yeah, I'm going to take that free vacation, like you said, and stay at your place in California. Abso-fucking-lutely. She's just a shit grandmother. Who agrees to that? And who agrees to that for that length of time? Maybe like a couple of days I could understand, but once the grandma leaves, we never see her again in this movie. No wonder why Julie is so angry all the time. Clearly, this grandmother does not love her. I do like Julie takes care of a hawk, though, an injured hawk, and then there's this beautiful sequence where, you know, you want to protect the hawk and you want to protect her and feed her and take care of her, but there does come a time when the healing, the protection doesn't need to be there, and the bird just needs to take off and fly. So there is growth from the bird's end, but there's also growth from the caretaker's end, and you know, I love those moments. It was a beautiful moment there. But the movie all builds to not a tournament, and not a an arranged mob fight meeting like we have with the previous Karate Kid films. They just follow the people who stole her boyfriend's car. They blow the car up, and then Ironside shows up and like, haha, the police will never know. We'll say that you were drunk driving. Clearly, like, the evidence does not point to that, sir. But, you know, you're you, I guess. And it leads to a fight between him and Julie, where Julie wins, and that's it. So I don't really know if Julie actually changed at all. In the end, like I said, this film is not substantial. It's definitely not the best of the franchise. You know what, though? I think I would put this film above Part 3. Part 3 pissed me off because it just reduced Daniel-san from what he became in the first two films. It reduced him down to just an asshole. In here, at least it's understandable that this is just an angry teenager who needed some guidance. They needed some focus in their life, and that's what Mr. Miyagi is for. So, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to put this one above Part 3. I'm going to give the next Karate Kid 2.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I found that if you have a goal, that you might not reach it. But if you don't have one, then you are never disappointed. And I got to tell you, it feels phenomenal.
So guys, if you've seen the next Karate Kid, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across because of this video, then comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.